Okay, so this is so not important, but I was just watching a video of the Carousel of Progress because I haven't been to Disney in a very long time, and Disney is my favorite place on the planet, and the Carousel of Progress is my favorite ride. But I just discovered today that what I thought I knew about this ride was completely wrong. If you're familiar with the Carousel of Progress, you know that it starts off at the turn of the century and it goes every 20 years up until the 1940s, and then after that it jumps to whatever time this is, presumably 2020s or later. And I was under the assumption that as the years go on, the people age and get older. So the ride follows John, our main character, who goes through the years and tells us the different things in the house and at the times that is new or up and coming, and he talks about things that are projected to come in the future, and he's like, that'll never happen. So he's telling the story of everything that is and what people are trying to do in the future. He's got a wife named Sarah, 2 kids, Patricia and Jimmy. He's got a dog, Rover, and there's Uncle Orville, and there's Grandma and Grandpa. They all live in this house. The really fascinating thing is that none of the characters die. Even the dog has been alive for over 100 years, but only in the last scene, this scene, the Christmas scene, do the characters look different. And so that's why I thought they were supposed to be different characters. For example, this guy does not look the same as this guy to me. They look like different people. And considering so much time has gone by, I thought the guy in the kitchen was supposed to be his son. I thought that was Jimmy. This lady is apparently Sarah, over 100 years later. She looks good for her age. But I thought that that was Patricia, which still, she would still look good for her age, but it still would make more sense. This grandma and this grandma are not the same person. This grandma and this grandpa are also not the same person. Now, I thought that this was supposed to be John because it's over 100 years later, so he's going to be a lot older. Again, he's not quite as old as he should have been, but he's older. And also he's holding a leash, what looks like it's a leash. So I thought that that was supposed to signify that Rover was his dog, because you only see Rover with John the entire time. Also, in this Christmas scene, he's the one that's saying how it used to be in the past and now how they have all these newfangled things. So it seems like he's going on with talking about how things used to be versus how it is now. Whereas John, who's in the kitchen and looks a lot younger than he used to, doesn't really talk a lot in this scene. Plus, the only 3 people or characters in this last scene that are actually named are John, who's in the kitchen, Rover, the dog, and Uncle Orville, who is also still alive over 100 years later, who I guess is in the bathroom. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be the grandpa. This is Patricia. This is Grandma and Jimmy. And these 2 are just John and Sarah. So, okay, I can accept that they're not supposed to be a family that is going through the decades. They are just representations of the American family. Okay, but one thing that it's still weird to me that the characters in the last scene all look different as opposed to all the other scenes, all the other decades. And also, who is this? Who is this? This is not Patricia. Because Patricia, this is the first scene. This is from the turn of the century. This is not Patricia, because Patricia shows up as an older teenager later on in this scene. They never name this kid. They don't acknowledge her. She's just there. Like, what happened to her? And presumably then she's not in the last scene. Who is she? Did like one of her pigtails get caught in the spinner and we just never heard from her again? Why did they make that decision? It's so not important, but just it freaks me out because also I never noticed her. I didn't notice her until today. So yeah, this was not important. I'm just sitting here thinking about my favorite ride in Disney World. I miss it so much, but I just realized there's so much of it that I didn't notice. And it saddens me. But if you happen to ride it, there's 4 hidden Mickeys, 3 or 4 hidden Mickeys in the last scene, so look for them. Anyway, if you stuck it out this long and you're still here, sorry I put you through this, but I couldn't go through it alone.